subject at hand.
He's a two-time, he's about to be a two-time league MVP and a defensive player of the year. That is a young player.
Okay. What did start this? Richard Jefferson tweeted, Giannis might be a Pippen. He said, might be a Pippen, ... There I said it. This is the tweet from Richard Jefferson, who obviously played with LeBron. He's played a long time in the league. Not a great player, but a pretty good player.
Great. So how good? So if he's not great, how many good players have won the MVP in the regular season?
Okay, I don't know what the point is of what you're asking.
But you said he might be a good player. He's a two-time league MVP.
I'm trying to give him some credibility here. He played alongside LeBron.
Yeah.
He loves LeBron, right?
Yeah.
Okay, might be a Pippen about Giannis. There I said it. He needs his Jordan. That's the tweet that detonated all this from Richard Jefferson, okay? I co-signed that tweet because I first guessed that. I told you last year, games 3, 4, 5, and 6 against the Toronto Raptors, Giannis shrank. What do we call him? 6'11"? He played like he was 6'3" in that series in the last 4 games. In the fourth quarter of those 4 straight games, he completely disappeared. He was ineffective to the point he was shooting 29% from the field over those 4 games because they walled him off and said, you have a big hole in your game. You have no mid-range jump shot. You cannot hurt us from 7 feet or 8 feet or 12 feet. This year he tried to shoot more threes, and sometimes he can be fairly effective from 3. Right. But when the pressure is on, he cannot be effective from 3 because he's not a very good three-point shooter, and you know and I know he is a liability at the free throw line, especially in playoff games. See what happened the other night against the Heat when he had a chance to make it a little closer. Remember, it was 43 seconds left, and he badly missed 2 straight free throws that surprised nobody. So here we go again against Miami, a smart team, tough team mentally and physically, with a good coach in Eric Spoelstra, and they just said, we're going to do what Toronto did last year. We're going to say, you can't have this anymore. In the regular season, he gets all he wants at the rim. He is this generation's Wilt Chamberlain, just finger rolling at the rim. He just swoops to the hoop and lays the ball home. And once he gets downhill on you, you know and I know, you cannot stop this man. No. But you can stop him with your mind and your strategy, because if you take that away, he doesn't have enough more to complement his game to hurt your defensive strategy of build a wall about 3 feet from the basket, right? Okay, that means by his standards, he is being overrated. I keep doing that, and I'll do it in all caps, overrated, because he did just do something only 2 other players have ever done. MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, in the same year. And by the way, speaking of Defensive Player of the Year.
So what did Jordan do in that year?
Okay, that's fine. But he did it. Is that not a historic feat?
Giannis is going to do it. Is that not a historic feat?
Okay, I ask you, did Michael Jordan ever flame out in a playoff series the way LeBron did in 09, 10, and 11, twice for Cleveland and the first year in Miami? Did one time he ever have one playoff series where you said, Michael, what happened? You shrank, you disappeared. Nobody ever said that. Even when he wasn't getting out of the first round, he was scaring the holy hell out of the Boston Celtics, who barely swept him. They won close games each time. One game, the first game, he scored 63 and it went to overtime. They were relieved to get out from under the guy that Larry Bird called God disguised as Michael Jordan. Okay,
Skip, if we look at the last 3 finals LeBron has lost, he's 33, 11, and 9.
Okay.
So what credit do we get for that? Did he win? Did Michael Jordan win?
Yeah, once he broke through, he just won and won and won. He would have won 8 straight finals.
Skip, who's to say that Giannis, once he breaks through?
So here's the point. The Giannis I'm seeing, he's not an alpha. He doesn't have, as they say, that dog in him. He does not have takeover intangibles. He's a complementary star, and Richard is exactly right. He's in search of maybe not a Jordan, but a co-star. He's Anthony Davis in New Orleans, where he was the PER Prince in search of his LeBron, and he found him. Anthony Davis does not have that dog in him, as Charles Barkley said a few weeks back. Anthony Davis is a complimentary a Robin to Batman. He's a supremely talented Robin, but you watch, now that the playoffs are starting for the Lakers and the spotlight is getting really bright and hot, let's see how Anthony does under that spotlight. This ain't Portland anymore.
Is that the same Charles Barkley that predicted Portland was going to win?
Okay, all right. But again,
so you nitpicking what he said. You said he said Anthony Davis ain't not that dog, but you didn't mention he was absolutely wrong.
Charles is much better on critiquing players and like social issues that we're about to talk about in a few minutes on this show than he is predicting games.
Can I ask you?
He is foolish when he predicts games.
Can I ask you a question? So was Kevin Durant, when his leaving OKC, going to Golden State, was he Pippen?
Going to Golden State?
Yes, when Kevin Durant left.
I told you why he left.
It doesn't matter, Skip.
Yes, it does. What are you talking about? There you go again. You're moving the goalpost.
Skip.
I dug in up front on that in 2012. I said on television, on ESPN, Kevin Durant is going to leave Russell Westbrook because he can't stand playing with a primary ball-handling decision-maker who gets to decide every time up the court, my turn or your turn. I think it's my turn, and I got the ball in my hands. And we're seeing it right now with James. Can James win with Russ? It's hard.
Skip, we got here because Jay Williams said LeBron James and Scottie Pippen for going to leak up with D-Wade,
right,
and now you changed it again.
Oh, no, you changed the subject because you asked a bizarre question that was off subject. Now we get to Jay Williams. And he says, LeBron was a Pippen with D-Wade once. Well, no, he wasn't. And there we agree. Okay, it's just wrong-headed. I don't know what Jay is trying to say because, no, he wasn't. What had LeBron just done? Well, he'd won back-to-back MVPs. Did Scottie Pippen ever win an MVP? No, he didn't. That 1 year without Jordan when I think he finished third, I believe. Okay.
And he was the All-Star Game MVP.
He was an All-Star Game MVP. But at that point, LeBron had been a 6-time All-Star and twice won All-Star Game MVP. Right. He is Jordan-esque in his talent. Right. I don't think he has anywhere near Jordan's intangibles. That's highly debatable, but the point was he tried in Cleveland to do it by himself, and he ran into my Spurs in the 07 finals, and it's like, I'm the best player on the floor, but I got swept. And he was. He's the most talented player on the floor, and it's really by far that he was the most talented player. And then we turn around in 09, and he hits the shot heard round the world to save game 2 at home against the Orlando Magic. And then it starts to get rocky again, and he loses that series in 6 games. Flamed out. And then the next year, Boston became his last year, the first go-around in Cleveland. And you know what happened. It flamed out. He played one of the all-time great games on a Friday night at Boston in Game 3, and they're up 2-1, and they go, loss, loss, loss.
You see what you do, though, Skip? When LeBron James loses, he averaged 36 in that series. Hold on, Skip, just let me finish. When LeBron James loses, he always flames out. Michael Jordan loses, all you do is say, look at the numbers that he put up. You